Hello, Philosophy and English friends. This is Pani Manager, and I'm here today with Father Wojciech Grygiel. We would like to welcome you back to Coffee Chats with Father for episode 3. Last week we looked at the idea of how philosophy influences science, and Father has invited us today for a discussion on kind of a switch. How does science influence philosophy? Father, this is an interesting topic. Where do you think it's going to take us?
Well, it's going to take us to the big questions, put it this way.
Big questions. Can I start with a question of my own, which is, could you give us an example of scientific ideas in philosophy? I think it's a great starting point.
Yeah, I think it's a great starting point, and it'll take us right to the heart of the problem, because one of the key problems that shows us how science influences philosophy is the problem of space and time. We're all convinced that there is space, and we're all convinced that time flows.
No, just a moment.
The clock is ticking, right?
I'm hearing space, I'm thinking of Star Trek, but my philosophical mind is telling me you mean the space around us.
Yes, I mean the space. Forget Star Trek for the moment.
Okay. So, how is this working then? Space, time, philosophy, science, where we go with this?
Well, I mean, we have a very intuitive perception that everything happening around us is happening in space, and we believe, the space around in this room is three-dimensional, and then we believe that there is time which flows, right? So this is our kind of intuitive belief.
Right.
And this belief has been explored by philosophers since the time of antiquity, like Plato.
Let's think. Heraclitus, semester 1 of philosophy in English, Pantarei.
Pantarei, okay. Well, that's the. Let's not push it. Let's just keep close to our ideas, and philosophers like more Plato and Aristotle had asked questions on what is the nature of space and what is the nature of time, and then as the knowledge progressed, these very intuitive ideas were developing into a more precise description of nature. But as with the onset of the contemporary scientific method, we have seen a major twist in our understanding of what space and time is. And the important thing about the way science progresses is that science takes us away from our intuitions, right? We start from very intuitive, kind of evolutionary acquired understanding of reality, but then science tells us something quite opposite. If you want to look for truth, look into the abstract areas, right? So what science started to do is to reshape our ideas of space and time. And the most profound discovery, you could say, was the special theory of relativity, formulated by Albert Einstein in 1905. According to which we're no longer to maintain that there's separate time and space, but there's an abstract entity called space-time. So space-time is something more fundamental than time and space taken separately.
Okay. I'm going to say I'm following you. I hope our viewers are following you, but let's go a little bit further and see how I kind of come to an end with this.
Well, things are getting worse.
Things are getting much worse. Hold on, guys. It's full speed ahead in warp speed.
Okay, no. We don't have to be that nervous, but we kind of have to kind of cautiously follow what Einstein did. And in 1915, he formulated a general theory of relativity in which he claimed that the space-time curves, because we kind of intuitively think that our space is flat, right? Mm-hmm. But Einstein would say, well, no, the space-time is something that curves.
Now, what would the idea be there? The difference between it being flat versus it curving? How does that affect us?
Well, in our radius of view, so to say, it's unimportant. I mean, we can easily assume that within our radius of existence, so to say, space is flat. Mm-hmm. Space-time is flat. But as we move to the sort of cosmic galactic situations, where there's a lot of mass, because the key point of Einstein's relativity is that this general relativity is that what curves space-time is the mass, the gravity. So when we have huge cosmic objects like galaxies or stars or even black holes, they would curve space-time very dramatically.
Now, in terms of philosophy, my preferred specialization is philosophy of the person. I'm very into Wojtylian ethics and this kind of idea, but where this goes, I'm a little lost how it applies to us. Could you kind of explain then how Einstein's ideas apply to the individual person or to the group of people? How is the world affected by this idea?
Well, as I said, I mean, within our radius of existence, I mean, these effects are not as important, but I think what is important is that according to the theory of evolution, we have evolved as we as humans are part of the evolving universe.
So maybe it's not something that we're going to feel day to day in the movements of our life every second, but it's like the long term, our history.
Well, it's our history, and it's what forces were actually shaping us as humans. Because if we assume that we as humans originate because of the Darwinian evolution, which is sort of a part of the bigger picture of the evolution of the universe. So all these forces described by general relativity are important. So we can say that, you know, there definitely is a trace of these issues in us as humans. They may be not immediately relevant to our daily existence, but at least to our constitutions, I think they're crucial.
Now, Father, you said Darwinian evolution, and I know we're going to get some comments or at least messages about this question. So I'd like to finish this with one idea, because I know it is applicable definitely to philosophy and science. How, as Catholics, can we understand the Darwinian evolution, as this is something that definitely comes up in discussion, and I know you've been confronted with it multiple times.
Yes, I've been confronted, but at this point I'll have to refuse any answer.
Okay.
Because this is something which deserves a separate treatment, and I'm sure we will have at least a couple of videos on that coming.
Definitely.
So let's wait with this.
So guys, you've heard it. There's definitely a few more videos in the works, and Father has some interesting talks for us coming up. As for today, that's going to be all, and I thank you very much for joining us. Father, again, a warm thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for the great time. See you next
next time, and we need to get more coffee. Have a great
change
day.
the cups.
Again.
Okay.
Absolutely. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Bye-bye.